I'm going to call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We did not have closed session, so we have nothing to report. Roll call. Andy Bloom and Guy Garcia are absent. Notice to the public. Any member of the public wishing to address the governing board on any topic within the subject matter jurisdiction of the district but not on the agenda may do so during public comment periods identified in this agenda. By law, subjects not on the agenda cannot be acted upon by the board except to briefly respond, clarify, or refer to staff for review and presentation at a future meeting. The board president will recognize you for public comment on the matters on the agenda at the appropriate time. Correspondence?
None.
Consent agenda. We do not have one. Public comment. There is absolutely no public. Guests and presentations?
None.
None. Director's report.
Okay, couple small things. We're shifting over to books 24/7 from Safari, which we had some problems with. Basically, this is just an online book service that mainly covers tech books, and it also includes lots of videos where you can stream them to your tablet or iPhone or whatever. So it's a little bit more up to date than Safari was too. A lot of the materials are real recent, so I think it's a better product.
And does that allow for more copies of the material as well, or is that just better streaming?
Yeah, you can stream it. You can't download the whole thing because of copyright restrictions.
Oh, I see. Got it. All right.
Is there a difference in cost or?
It was about the same cost. It was negotiated through Snap,
Okay.
which is the next thing is that the Snap consortium is kind of in a state of flux at the moment.
That's an understatement.
Yes. The Napa County Library left, or will be leaving in March. Napa Community College and Sonoma Community College are both leaving at the end of the fiscal year.
Does that mean they're expecting our share of fees to go up?
I talked with Bonnie. She says that she doesn't think it's going to go up much at all. Most of the fiscal hit will hit the Solano County Library.
Are we committed to them through the rest of this calendar year?
Yes.
Okay. And when does Napa leave? Is that in the summer?
Napa's leaving in March.
Okay.
So there's an information sheet talking about some of the things that will happen with it.
So are they going to call it SAP after that then?
They're having a contest to rename it, so
A better idea.
I'm not sure exactly what
Sometime
the
I'll think of
contest
something
will
funny.
come up with, but the winner gets to take, I think, 25 people to one of the local wineries.
There you go.
For free?
Get to working on it.
One of the concerns with the fact that Solano was managing this was that there was an accusation by Napa that Solano was redirecting resources essentially to the Solano Library that really belonged to all the partners. And so, and that was why Napa was going to withdraw. Do we have any follow-up on that?
There was some talk about it. Solano denies that, but they were unable to really give Napa like a real financial printout of exactly what was going on. So I don't know exactly.
Have you talked to Napa to, ask them for some sort of a, explanation sheet of why they're dropping out, or just some sort of information data point why they're dropping out of this thing? I mean, I know part of it was price, but I thought most of it was the fact that they thought resources were being diverted.
I really think it was more of a personality thing. I think that Napa, the director there, really wanted to have more share, but more say in the whole process. But the fact that they were a much smaller partner didn't allow her to do that. Also, the St. Helena director who was recently let go. She was kind of in partners with the Napa County
What's NAPA
Library.
gonna do to replace SNAP?
They're looking into other options, though they're probably going to go with a different ILS than we have.
Do we want to consider partnering with them, or is that just a logistical nightmare to switch over?
I think it'd be a logistical nightmare. I think we're better served staying with
All right.
Solano.
Okay,
Yeah.
as long as they don't really jack those fees up, like that was the concern about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, she's promised me that they wouldn't, but when time comes, we can certainly look
All
at
right.
that.
Okay.
So is that the presentation on the staff consortium, or did you have additional comments?
No, that was it.
Okay, great. Ongoing business.
Okay, first thing is the agreement with the architect regarding the Miller Building project. We had the initial agreement presented at the November meeting. It was postponed until last month. Last month, we talked about just doing the conceptual plan and starting with the structural engineer doing work. Our attorney advised that we shouldn't have any work done whatsoever until an agreement is signed between us. So I know Joe had a few concerns that he passed on to me before the
minor.
meeting.
Yeah,
Are
they
they-
wouldn't hold up approval. Those are minor. You could
Okay.
just work those out with the lawyer.
Okay,
Okay.
so I guess we just need to decide whether we want to accept the agreement tonight.
I really like the way this is set up. I think the lawyer did a really good job on this, and I also like the fact that a lot of the what we would have called the sub work now is the responsibility of the architect. In other words, they're going to get structural in there and electrical and plumbing and mechanical, and basically they've got a little bit of a fund in order to handle that. So that's really the right way to do it. And then just have them bring the contract in at or below that $52,000 total fee. So, and the lawyer wrote a very good contract. I like this one. This is, and essentially this is in terms of what they're delivering, this is what we really need in order to make a decision about what we're gonna do with Miller. I mean, you're gonna get drawings and you're gonna get some cost estimates out of this, so that's pretty good.
So is that a motion?
That's a motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, the next one was the vacation leave policy we discussed last time. Since it was a policy change, we're going to wait another month before we adopt it or decide not to adopt the policy.
The only input comment I had was, if there's another part of this policy that relates to the procedure that an employee must, submit a written request for vacation leave, X number of days before they're gonna take it to you. And there's nothing in this particular policy about that. What should happen, I think, is that either this is in conjunction with other sections that we don't have tonight, or maybe we just need to add some sort of language about, how they submit the form and when they submit the form, okay?
Okay,
So you need action on this tonight to approve it because we have waited the month, right? We talked about
Yes.
it last month, and
yeah, we
so-
talked about it last month. The only real change is that under 3020.2.1, it now says different library or libraries.
Right.
That's the only wording that was changed.
So I will entertain a motion on this revision.
So moved.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
You can look at that additional policy language separate, and if there's nothing there, then you can bring that one back to us in the future.
Okay, that sounds good.
An adoption of our board meeting dates. And did you run these by Cicely? Did you ever see a full list of them to just make sure we weren't overlapping anywhere?
Yeah, she said there was no overlaps. Yeah,
great.
I ran by Sue Johnston, actually.
Okay.
Okay, so moved.
All right, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. New business. Creation of library assistant 2 position with approval of pay schedule.
Yes, I would like to ask the board to create a library assistant 2 position. Right now, the library only has a library assistant 1. There's precedent in that we have a librarian 1 and 2 positions. And the only difference is length of time served and whether the person supervises or not.
Are you transitioning any current employees into this new position?
Yes, there are 2 employees that would be covered by this. One has 7 years' experience, the other one has 15. It came up that there was nothing actually written saying that those people supervise the pages and clerks. They have been de facto supervising and training those positions. So I think that they should be rewarded for having supervisory responsibilities on top of the other things that they do. The only real changes to the job description are on the last page, saying that pointing out the difference between library assistant 1 and 2. The 2s would have 4 years' experience, and they're responsible for supervising the aides and the clerks.
And with the library 2 position, how would the steps work?
I have a proposed salary schedule,
I see that.
and this would be a 20% increase from the current, from the library assistant 1
Okay, and what would it
positions.
take to move from like step 1 to 2 or 2 to 3?
It's usually 6 months is the way that all the other salary steps have been set up.
Okay.
Are there any questions? There's no public, so I'm assuming there's no public comment. I will entertain a motion on this item.
I'll move approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. New business B, approval of shifting funds to cover library assistant raises.
To cover those raises till the end of fiscal year would cost roughly $55.50. We also, the next thing that's coming up is the transfer of funds for the medical insurance. So I don't know if we want to cover it as a lump sum in the next section or have 2 separate votes.
What would the combined cost be?
The combined cost would be around $36,000 total. To cover the medical insurance, which we previously approved, that would cost $30,000. This would cost $55.50 to cover the salary raises for the library assistant 2s.
And which funds are we transferring from and to?
We're transferring from the, let's see, I have that written down here. Let's see, here we go. It's from the services and supplies budget. So far, we're 58% of the way through the fiscal year. We've spent 42% of that part of the budget, so there's a lot of
Can you
money.
give us dollar figures on that? Because I don't
Yeah.
have that in front of me.
Yeah, $411,000 is budgeted. We've spent $175,000 of that so far.
Okay.
So do you guys want to take these as separate items, both approvals for shifting funds? We're going to take them together?
So the other item we're shifting is for the health insurance?
Yeah,
Okay. And the request for that, I see the numbers, but what's the total request for that you're asking that we shift?
for the health insurance, $30,000.
Okay.
The handout that I gave everybody, it says $23,563, but today the accountant came to me with different figures, and she thinks it'll be closer to around
Okay.
29,000, so I'm
All right.
asking for 30 to cover the entire thing.
Okay.
I will entertain a motion on either B or C or a combined B and C.
You want to do it just combined?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do, I approve, approval of B and C combined.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item D, approval of excused absences for board member.
So moved.
So actually,
Seconded.
there's no need to do this because we don't have to. Board members, you want to talk a little bit about what you found out in terms of our policies?
Yeah, there is no policy as far as board members' excused absences. It only applies to commission members. It states I know.
Don't say that.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that word, but
The 4-letter word.
It does say the library commission shall declare a position vacant when any of the following circumstances occur. One of the next lines is when a member has accumulated 3 unexcused absences in a year, or missed a total of 5 meetings under any circumstances in a year, or missed 3 consecutive meetings. But there is no policy addressing board members' absences. The policy says that, it still says that there should just be quarterly meetings of the board, so.
Yeah, because a library board member isn't elected, so you'd almost have to recall.
There's a government code provision that was discussed on the school side that said that board members could be absent for up to 3 consecutive months before they would have vacated their positions. So they would only need to attend 1 meeting out of every 3 months in order to avoid having vacated their office. So, but we could do this either way, whatever's the board's pleasure.
Well, I'm comfortable since it's not the same, and there's been other instances when we've had to differentiate between our school board and our library board responsibilities, and I'm comfortable with not making taking any action tonight on this, because I don't think that there's any reason, I don't think there's anything we're taking action on. I don't think there's a reason to take action. There's not any policy, and there's not any government code section that defines library board absences, so I think we're all fine on that.
All right.
So with that, I'm going to move on to to item E, approval of minutes from our last board meeting. Is there any board comment?
Nope, I'll move approval.
Is there a second?
I don't think I was there, so I'm not going to second that
Oh, you weren't
one.
at the last one? Okay, I will second. There's a motion and a second.
Maybe I wasn't
You were there. It says you were there, so maybe I shouldn't second.
there. Don't remember that one.
I thought you were there. All right, I'm still going to second, and there's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The motion passes.
Can't believe I attended a meeting during vacation, but I guess I did.
Any other items?
No.
All right, meeting adjourned.